everyone. Wow, it's another time on the Health and Mind series. You're all welcome. We're glad to have you here, aren't we, Coach Festus?
Yes, I'm so excited. I'm excited to be here again. Episode 2 on popular demand. We are back.
Episode 2, yes. If you missed the last episode, please go back and watch, okay? Really important that you watch it and keep up with what's happening on the series. We have so much to share with you. You know, one of the things we have come to know is that there's a major link between our minds and our health. We can't separate the two. A healthy mind makes for a healthy body, you know. So having come to that realization, it's become important to try and help people understand that link. You can't expect to have a healthy body if your mind is not healthy.
Yeah.
You know, the mind is so key in health, isn't it, Coach Festus?
Yes, you're right. Because some persons will be wondering why this mind dimension. If you're going to talk about health, just talk about health and that will be it. But hey, we're saying no matter how much of health issues you want to talk about, if the mind is porous, the mind is not it's not made up about what you really want to do. You are not you are distracted. Fear is in the background. You are depressed. You are asking the what if kind of question. It won't work. So there is a balance, and that's what we are offering, trying to bring in the balance between health and the mind. Wow.
Absolutely. I think we better introduce ourselves for people who are just meeting us for the first time, for those who were not here last week. So I am Dr. Adeze Ifezulike. I'm a medical doctor. I'm based in Aberdeen. I'm also a lifestyle medicine physician, as well as a family physician. And so I'll hand over to Coach Festus. You introduce yourself as well.
All right. I'm Festus Flourish. I'm a mind therapist. I'm a family therapist as well, marriage therapist, or whatever kind of therapist. But whatever has to do with the marriage, family, the mind, that is where I am actually, I've majored on. And so we're here just to talk about the mind and how it relates to a health issue. And of course, I'm also a marriage counselor based here in Abuja, Nigeria, the heart of Africa, the heart of the
capital city.
Yeah, you can say that again.
Yes,
I'm so excited. Yeah. I honestly, looking back at episode 1, we're back because on popular demand, we had to come back because for some persons backstage, they were like, oh, we never really knew that this could connect this way, and there's a need for us to talk more about this. I'm just wondering, you are the expert here, and there were a lot of questions we threw up concerning, diabetes, obesity, and all other issues that relates to health. But I want to ask, let's start this way now, because I know we have a lot of persons that are interested in this question. Can diabetes? Okay, now let me take this one first. What is the best way to control diabetes? Because backstage, we actually had someone, but by the time we're rounding up, we're talking about weight gain and all that. And like, oh, there are so many other ways they can always look at things. And so I was just wondering, maybe we didn't say it that day, and I'm sure a lot of people will want a definite answer here from an expert, an award-winning expert.
Yes, I just want to welcome people again. I see some people on YouTube. You're welcome. Feel free to drop in the chat, say hello, let us know where you're tuning in from. We're so glad you've been able to join us. Thank you so much for joining us. Yes, so diabetes, coming to your question, what's the best way to control it? How do we go about it? I think it's important to realize that the mind actually comes in here, and that's why I'm just so excited about this series we're doing. The first point of call is for the person to even realize it's possible to control your diabetes, because a lot of people's mindset is that once you're diagnosed with diabetes, that is it.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you agree with me that if that's someone's mindset, then it's difficult for them to get on top of their diabetes, because their mindset is already that I have this illness, that is it. I'm going to live with it forever, But we now know that diabetes is actually a lifestyle. We now call it a lifestyle disease. It's a chronic illness that, is kept going by the sort of lifestyle we're living. So the best way to control it is really a change of lifestyle. That is it. And that starts with the mindset. One has to have the mindset that I can get on top of this illness. Like most other illnesses can also be controlled that way. But that brings me to the question I would like to ask you as a mind therapist. Why is it even important to be able to control our minds? I know last time we talked about can we control our minds, and from what you explained, in fact, I would like you, because I loved your explanation last week about the mind and the brain. That was great. Can you explain it again for the new people here, please? My question last week was, where is the mind? Is it in the head or in the belly or in the heart? And you explained it so well. Please explain it again.
First and foremost, I want to apologize for those of us just joining in on YouTube. Last week, the first episode, we couldn't connect to YouTube, and I know a lot of persons were really eager, waiting for us to connect on YouTube. But hey, we are back now, and so you have us on YouTube. And going back to the question she asked this question. That was the first question she asked during the episode one, our first session, and it was like, oh, that's naturally look like a weird question. The kind of question a child would ask, but hey, that's not true. We should be interested. We should want to find out where the mind is, because over the time we've gotten this really confused, not knowing what is the difference between the mind or the brain and all that. And then, like the way I explained it that day, I actually forgot to add the second one, so I'm going to add the second one to it. Now, the mind and the brain is like the house and the tenant. The brain is the house, the mind is the tenant.
Right.
Now, the brain is the chamber that houses where the mind will eventually come into. So, and then you have different occupants coming in. Tenant one will come, tenant two will go. Now, when the tenant comes in, we have to decide what happens in that house. So, it's the tenant that decides this painting, this color, I don't like it. I need white. I need all white. You see, the house is there, but nothing is happening. It's not active until the tenant comes in and make it active. So the mind is in the brain. The mind is in the brain, is the active force that drives the brain. Now, the second example I didn't use last week, let me add it to it. It's also like the car and the driver. The car is the brain, the driver is the mind. No matter how powerful that car is, no matter how sophisticated that car is, if a driver doesn't come in to drive the car, that car is useless. It can be parked there, it can be there for as long as you can have it there. So the mind, is the driving force of the brain. Now, let me quickly come to the question. Why is it important for us to have a control of our mind? Essentially, if you look at your life, everything about you, the mind is the active force. It's what differentiates you between you and a madman out there in the street. It's what differentiates you from people who are irrational, or people who just believe it can be done. And because of that, they'll just live a certain kind of a lifestyle that they feel is suitable for them. So now when you decide to control your mind, you're saying, I am in charge. I'm not just going to allow anything to just come to me and I accept it just the way it is. I am in charge. And so if I'm in charge and I need to use my mind, control my mind, whether on obesity, on diabetes, on weight loss or whatever, I can do it. And that simple decision is going to just, create a domino effect. And then it's going to take a toll on your life and your change of lifestyle. Because if you want to change the lifestyle and your mind is not made up, how do you do it? Eventually, you are under punishment, because they'll tell you the food to eat and the food not to eat. I want to eat the bowl of pounded yam and all that. But they're saying, no, look, it's not healthy for you. So control your mind and believe that you can adjust, to a different lifestyle, just so that you can live a healthy life. I'm sure you have something you want to add.
Honestly, this resonates so well with me. Honestly, I see this all the time in patients. Those who are of the mindset who say, doctor, just explain to me what this is about. I know I can do this. I know I can get on top of it. Those are of the mindset that they can conquer this illness. I find that they're able to do the things that are required. So it starts from the mind. They've made up their mind. Just like you said, the mind is the driver. They've decided to write, I'm sitting in the car of my health, and I'm going to make sure this works for me. So that's where mindset comes into health. You know,
Yeah,
they're so linked. They're so linked. Even there's been studies around that people who go into surgery, for example, they're going to have an operation and they believe that they will come out of it, that everything will be successful. They actually do quite well. You know, but those who go in fearful, they're worried about complications, they've read all the negative things, you know, in a strange way, they don't do as well as those who had the mindset that things will work for them.
Doctor, that's sorry for interrupting you. You know, I run a mind class 3.0, and I actually have it ongoing now. Over the weekend, okay, that was yesterday course. Yesterday we had one of the students. I mean, I usually give them time to give their testimony before the lecture. And one of them was sharing with me, like, look, what you're saying, I can resonate with it. It's true. She got married at 43. And of course, she maybe at almost that same time, she was diagnosed with fibroid. She had this, you know, so much of it in her womb. And the doctor had told her that, look, this fibroid, we have to choose between your life, the fibroid of the womb. And you're going to we are going to take this fibroid away because it's becoming a risk to your life. And we're going to take it away with your womb. Just imagine a woman who just got married and you're saying you're going to take a womb along with the fibroid. And she stood her ground and said, no, I'm not going to lose my womb. And God said, no, this is about your life. And then she had to resort back to her husband and say, my husband, I believe I'm not going to lose my womb. Just agree with me. I was okay, no problem, let's leave it. But you know, when they went back again to go and do another scan or whatever, they're like, okay, we can do this. Let's see, let's give it a try. And they did. They removed the fibroid without removing them from the womb, because the mind was so positive. I'm just trying to connect with what you said.
Absolutely.
Yes, she was able to stand her ground, and truly, they removed the fibroid without removing her womb. But
absolutely.
Please, let me ask this. Because I know a lot of persons are eager to hear this, and I'm asking from a perspective. You understand why I'm asking from this perspective? Africans, we have a lot of Africans, maybe because of information, because of exposure, because of technological advancement with, you know, developing countries in Africa. We still believe that the orthodox medical option is always the best. In fact, you will see some, instead of going to hospital, they will tell you, no. I have one baba, I will just count agbo for you. They count agbo as if it's drug, as if it's cash or money. They will just count agbo for you. You will take it and this thing will disappear. Now, you are the expert, because a lot of persons out there want to find out as an expert. Would you recommend, what's your view about people using the African herb to control diabetes? Is it possible? Is it efficient from the expert?
Well, so to be honest, I have heard stories like that, you know, people who want to control their diabetes through traditional medicine, you know, they pick up something from the witch doctor or whoever, you know. I really, really discourage people from using such things, you know. The truth is that a lot of these things have not been properly documented, the way they work. And we found people to have damage, like, you know, kidney damage from some of these things. They concoct some things and give you to drink. You're not even sure what is in the drink. And we've had people come down with kidney failure because of the effects of these dangerous things that they're given to take. I will encourage anybody listening, if you have a medical problem, you need to seek professional help. You need to go to a doctor, someone who is trained to help you, okay? It might be that I'm not discounting all the sort of traditional things. There are some that say to you, oh, you need to eat healthy food. You know, some will actually say these herbs, the herbs may be things like vegetables, you understand? They may say you should eat vegetables. Nothing wrong with that. And that can actually, it will improve your health. So nothing wrong with that. We're talking about methods whereby they concoct things that, you know, they'll add this, add that, and all that, and just give you to drink. It's really important you don't take those sort of things. You must seek professional help, you know. And diabetes is something that you can actually overcome. It's a lifestyle illness. And we know that if you change your lifestyle, you can actually come on top of your diabetes. What we have found is that a lot of the people that are becoming diabetic, it came about when they added weight. Obesity and diabetes go hand in hand.
I
as the
was just
rates
going to
of
ask you about
obesity.
that. I was just going to
Yes.
ask that. Go ahead, please.
Or before we do that, let me just, I see some people on YouTube. Rita, hello, Rita from Aberdeen. Greetings to you. Nice of you to join us. I see Evelyn from London. Nice to have you on the show. You're all welcome. Rita says, mind is the active force that drives the brain. Absolutely. Absolutely. Sure. Yeah. So honestly, from around I think it was in the 1980s, there was a massive increase in obesity. That's when diabetes also blew up. They go hand in hand. So we find that when such people are guided to lose weight, their diabetes naturally goes away. And we've seen this happen. We run a weight loss class called Fab Weight Loss Academy. We have people who came in to the academy with problems with their blood sugar. But as they began to lose weight, things started improving. And that's what we're trying to change people's mindsets, that it's not all about, I mean, we have nothing against medication, tablets, whatever medicine your doctor has given you. It's fine to take it, but you can also make some changes yourself that may mean that instead of 3 tablets, you're not taking 1 tablet. You've come down from 3 to 1. That's something, So I still prescribe medication, but I believe so much in the role of lifestyle also.
Okay, let me ask, because I know a lot of persons will be interested in this. Obesity, diabetes, has this gotten anything to do with weight gain? Do people necessarily gain weight just because they have diabetes, and of course they suddenly become obese? Is there a correlation? And of course, as you talk about it, maybe just let us into the Fab Weight Loss Academy, and the testimonies are there. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, like I was saying, there's a major link, okay? When people are overweight, their blood sugar control becomes abnormal. They now have lots of insulin in the system. Insulin is a storage hormone. And when there's lots of insulin, the body actually becomes resistant to insulin. You now have insulin resistance, which is actually diabetes, okay? So it just follows that once you lose that weight, your diabetes will improve. Now, for those who are already diabetic, because they are often afraid of their blood sugar dropping too low, they are taught to eat, so they're actually taught in some quarters to eat regularly, keep eating so that your blood sugar doesn't drop too low. Now, the problem with that is as long as you're continuously eating, your body sugar control is not going to get back to normal. And that's why they now say diabetes is a chronic problem. It never goes away. It's not going to go away because it's being tackled in the wrong way. It's not tablets that will solve it. It's a change in lifestyle, Okay.
Let me still add to this, because I really want us to just get on with this. Now, because of the lifestyle and maybe the trend, the generational trend, you will agree with me, we have a lot of minors, younger people getting obese these days.
Yeah.
I mean, boys, girls of 8, 7, they will look like 18, 20. Now, who are we to hold responsible? Who are we to blame for this? Is it the parents of these children? And is there any hope for these kind of person? Because it's not just about diabetes now, but people just will gain excessive weight. Now, but let's narrow it to children, minors, teenagers. Who do we hold responsible, ma'am?
To be honest, it's a multifactorial thing. We can hold the food suppliers, the advertisements that advertise all these breakfast cereals, that are really just sugar. They make it so beautiful that children look at these adverts, and they want these things, but these things are actually not good for their health, and it's making a lot of our young people to become obese. We can blame them. We can blame the government, actually, because something interesting. Nowadays, we think that breakfast with bread is normal. To the average person, breakfast means bread. But do you know that was not really the case back in the 70s? It was something that just came along the line. Because at some point in the 70s, the government introduced what is called the food pyramid. I don't know if people listening to us have heard about food pyramid. If you're on YouTube and you've heard about the food pyramid, please type into the chat. So this is something like this, okay? So at the tip of the pyramid, there are foods there, things like meat, So the smaller the pyramid, is small here. So they say eat a little meat, that sort of thing. Then at the base of the pyramid, at the lower end, the government put things like bread, like rice, like potatoes. These are actually carbohydrates. Yeah. So, but the people did what the government said. The government said, eat more of the things at the lower end of the pyramid. So people say eating bread became a regular thing, whereas it was never that way. For us now, breakfast is bread and tea, bread and this, bread, there has to be bread. And no wonder from the 70s going into the 80s, obesity just skyrocketed. And that was simply because the people did what the government said to do. So maybe we should blame the government for bringing up a pyramid that wasn't quite accurate, because we now know that actually these carbohydrates, things like your rice, your bread, your pasta, all those things actually make people to gain weight. So we can blame the government. And I just find it difficult to blame people, because what I have seen is that when individuals are actually educated and given information, they want to make changes. They want to make changes. That child that is being given cereal, if the parents knew better, they would do better if they had the right information. You understand? And a parent is now taught to know that actually these sort of cereals are simply sugar. What is sugar? These cereals are just packs of sugar. They're shaped in nice ways, but it's the same as it's like taking table sugar and eating. You understand? So if the parent understands that, then maybe instead of white bread, the parent can bring up their child to eat wheat, bread that is more wholemeal bread. You understand? More of the actual wheat rather than the refined wheat into the white bread. Okay. Maybe if someone is diabetic, they can now think about, instead of eating white rice, which is just plain sugar, they can think about eating brown rice. So you see why I find it difficult to blame people. I just feel they don't have enough information. But once they know, like in our Fab Weight Loss Academy, actually our next class is starting on the 27th of June. We've had incredible results. If you're listening to us, you're struggling with your weight, or your husband has this big pot belly, people who are struggling, we want to help. Encourage them to come and join the Fab Weight Loss Academy. You can send us an email at fabweightlossacademy@gmail.com. And then we teach people, we help them to understand the different classes of food, the ones you can eat that will help your weight, the ones that are not too good. We actually hold people's hands and help them improve their health. One of the things we do is mind. We have a mind class. That has really been great, because that connection between the mind and health is so powerful. I don't know if you want to tell us a bit about how the mind class, because Festus does the mind class for us, and a lot of people have found that helpful. Please give us an idea of what you teach in the class.
Yes, thank you. I will. And this is really getting interesting. While you were talking, because I actually wanted you to hold somebody responsible, so you can blame someone across board. You only blame the manufacturers, you blame the government, you didn't blame parents and blame the individual. I understand. And that was very professional of you. And honestly, come to think of it, that's just the truth. Information is power. Information can literally change or transform people depending on the way we look at it. But let me say this, and as I look at it vis-a-vis how the mind, people can control their mind, or how they can be controlled by external influence, and then all of a sudden they will stick to a certain kind of lifestyle that might not be healthy for them. Doctor, you will agree with me that maybe up until recently, when we started talking about there's a need for people to shed weight and stay fitter and look healthier, you will agree with me up until recently, when you are fat, you have the big belly, you are a big man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When the woman is skinny, you are suffering.
That's the mindset we're talking about.
That's the mindset. In fact, I know of a particular woman, but that my wife struggled with trying to convince her to lose weight. She said no. She lost her marriage because she came out of a marriage, and it was really tough for her. So for her, she was like, when they see her and they see her skinny, they're going to say she's suffering. And she wasn't going to shift her ground. She wasn't going to lose her weight. She just kept on putting all of those in just to look big. Now, it's been a mentality over the years. We believe when we are fat, when the man has the pot belly and he wears his agbada and the pot belly shoes, I thought this guy is a big guy, and especially for those in the Western society. Now they're getting to really understand that, look, it's not being a big man does not connect with
absolutely.
So
absolutely.
they've got to be the need for the change of mindset.
Yeah.
It begins with the mindset. Because if you do not have a defined mindset, you can easily be influenced by the kind of influence that has been, given or that has been set for everybody to go about. How do I mean? Just like you gave us an example about the pyramid. Just imagine how that influenced everybody. Up until recently that I heard that from you, from your lecture, I didn't know how bread came to become the mainstay of daily breakfast. I didn't know where it came from. I didn't know it was a governmental decision. So the reason why we need to have our firm mindset and control what we are doing, control our diet, control our weight, control our health or whatever you, is to ensure that we do not allow other people to control us. We do not allow the government to control us. We do not allow these producers to control us. I bet you they will want to control you. There's a way they do all their adverts and their publicity. They make it so real, so crunchy. Just even looking at the picture is like, oh, your mouth is salivating and you want to act, take some more.
Absolutely.
Yes, and then you go for a party and all of a sudden, all those things, I'm not going to do this again. You see all of them in the buffet and like, oh, wow. During the Fab Weight Loss Academy, we had some persons saying that they used to have sins, personal sins.
Yes, that's true.
Things they used to commit,
Yes,
so they can't take their eyes away from.
Exactly.
So, but if that person had a made-up mindset, no matter how the party planner, the event planner tried to lure you to eat the junk, you say, no, this is not healthy for me. I'm not going to take this. I'm not going to go.
So it's the mind, having that right. There's a mindset for health. There's a mindset for health.
That's the right word.
There's a mindset for health.
Once you become conscious of it, you are going to live by that. I was just sharing with you backstage about the man who said, or was it backstage or during episode 1, about the man that said he does regular exercises every morning, even when there is rain, he will wear, just get in because he wants to stay healthy. And of course, it's more cheaper to have a mindset for a health, to live healthy than to stay on drugs. It's more cheaper. It's far cheaper.
Honestly, I was just, I think it was yesterday evening, I was being told of a friend of ours who is now having to go on dialysis, and they said he has to do the dialysis 3 times a week, and each one costs 50,000. I'm like, what? 50,000 for each dialysis, and he has to do 3 a week? How is he going? You understand? Illness is expensive.
Yes, how did he get there?
Sickness is expensive. How did he get there? If you had said to him, do your exercise, do these things, he might have felt, it's too much stress, I want to enjoy life, But when the sickness comes, then you see that it's more expensive. So that's why we want to preach a mindset for health, to help people understand. Don't go by what the society thinks, because society says that if you're big, then it means you're living life. But health says no. Health says no. You've got to be the right weight for your height, So society may say, oh, if you're too skinny, you're suffering. Health says no. You have to do what is right for your health.
Absolutely. Let me just say this as we are just planning to round up, and because we're really behind schedule, time. We run a Fab Weight Loss Academy, and in fact, this is actually the reason why we brought about that vision, so that those who have been struggling to keep up with a certain mindset for their health, they can find solace somewhere with professionals who will guide them. Please, can we have that muted? Okay. Sorry, okay. So who will guide them to take the necessary step in living their life in the way it's supposed to be. I know how difficult this can be. You are out there, you are hearing the sound of my voice, and you are following what we're talking about. And it's like, oh, it's not as if I don't want to have the mindset for it, but it's difficult. I want to keep up with a certain meal and menu, but after a while, you just realize that, like, you wouldn't even remember, you just throw it away and you're back to square one. Yeah, we understand how difficult it can be. But when you are within an environment where you have professionals and you have people who have gone through such experience, and people who are really giving it from a professional point of view, most probably you will be able to guide your mind, you'll be able to grow into it, and you'll be able to assure yourself that you can do this. And that's actually what we do at Fab Weight Loss Academy. And just like my colleague said a while ago, there's a need. If you haven't, gone through any, this one is with a difference, because we have people who came in and like, okay, let us say stroll in the park. And all of a sudden, wow, this is unique. I hope you remember there was a woman who said, first talked about the intermittent fasting. I'm like, no, I can't do this. And, she even became, she went through it and was, oh, wow, it was so
That's
amazing.
the thing about surrounding yourself with the right sort of people.
Persons. Yes.
Her mindset was like, fasting, I can never do that. In fact, she was almost ready to pull out what she had. She was like, no. But when we taught and explained it, she got it. That's why I believe information is key,
Professional ways of fasting intermittently. And they just went through the routine, went in with exercise, regular exercises. There was a woman who said, I never thought I could do 5,000 steps a day. Now, before we entered the academy, she became the trekking queen. More than 10,000. That is the mindset.
Yeah.
And you need to see how much people really took away their weight. But let me say this as we round up as well. Losing weight or taking off some kilos is not just about diabetes. Maybe you are a diabetic patient. It's not just about the fact that you're already obese and you want to come down. It's about healthy lifestyle.
Yeah, it's the lifestyle.
Again, you say, oh, I'm not obese, I'm not diabetic. I mean, it's about healthy lifestyle. How do you live healthy lifestyle? And especially at age 40. The expert is here. At age 40, for most men and women, you should start taking things easily. There's some kind of food you can't eat anymore.
Exactly.
Lifestyle. Yeah, you should, from that age 40 to age 50, begin to come into a certain lifestyle if you're going to live long. It's not when you are now age 70, 80, you're talking about arthritis, can even move. You say, doctor, what do I do? Add more drugs. Add more drugs, like adding more sort to injury. So it's not just about
sorry to interrupt.
It's not about diabetes. It's about a healthy lifestyle.
It's the lifestyle. I remember a gentleman in the class who actually did a food diary, because that's another thing we teach people, to write down for a day or two, what you normally eat, and then let's have a look at it. And when we had a look, it was shocking what he was eating. And he hadn't realized it was wrong. Some of these things are things we've always eaten, you understand? But when we went through the food diary with him, he saw where the areas where he needed to work on. So that's what we also do for people, to try and explain, this is the weak point, this is the areas you can make adjustment, make changes to.
You're right. And let me just have a parting word here. And then, of course, I would leave you to close the show for us this evening. For me here, weight loss, whether diabetes, whether obesity, whether whatever it is about a lifestyle. Making it a lifestyle and stay healthy and not kill yourself, literally. Because if you're not informed by what you need to do right, you might actually be doing things at the expense of your life. You might actually be the one responsible for killing your life. And you can just be doing that slowly. Slowly, you'll be taking a bit of your life away. And we'll say the best time to start is now. Imbibe that habit. You can do it. You can stay fit. You can be trim and be healthy. You don't have to be fat to be a big woman and a big man. And of course, those of you women, after delivery, the stomach is bloated and all that, you'll be struggling with it. You can take it off. Yeah, there are exercises that you can get involved in that can help you take away, the tummy fat. I know that's a major concern for a lot of women, tummy fat. Hey, I want to look like Sweet 16. You can. It's possible. That gown that you will put on, you can still put it on. The one they call the CWO women hand. The SS hand flabby here. You know, you can take it off. It's all about information, and we're encouraging you to join in the next set of students at the academy. They will be coming in on Sunday, and just give it a try. I'm sure a trial will convince you. Thank you once again. Over to you, Dr. Adeze, as you give your final post here and round off for us.
Yes, so this has been the Health and Mind series. This is the second episode. I hope you will join us next time. We'll be back to talk some more about that important connection between the mind and the health. They go hand in hand, okay? And we teach a mindset for health. So yes, send us an email, fabweightlossacademy@gmail.com, and we will get you started on the road to health. And thank you once again for joining us. Thank you so much. I see those on YouTube. Laura says it's cheaper to have a health mindset. Absolutely, it's just cheaper to do that. You know, so I thank you all for joining us. Rita says, where your mind goes, your life goes. That is it. You just got that. So thank you so much, and we'll see you on the next episode. Take good care.
Most probably we can have the third episode before the academy, but we will look at it and we'll see how we can get on board. But let me also say this. This is interactive. It's not just about the professionals here. It's about what you feel. So you can send in a feedback. You want us to talk about
medical condition they want us to talk about.
Yes, you can get it on board, and we'll have a lot of professionals in the house. I mean, not just two of us here, who will be willing to spare their few minutes to talk with you. But we want you to know that there are people who will talk with you and who will be there for you. So please watch out for episode 3, which of course is going to come in very soon. And if you love what we did today, please connect with us. The Fab Weight Loss Academy is there for you. And of course, send us an email, and we will be there to attend to you. I want to appreciate my beautiful sister, my colleague this evening, my studio partner. Thank you so much, and you did so well, you know, letting in people, especially that pyramid, the mind, food pyramid.
Food pyramid.
You know, the first time I heard that from you, I was like, wow. And you know, since then, I've changed my mindset about sticking with bread every morning. It just changed my mindset. Yeah. That's what we're talking about. Information, the right information can change your mindset and make you healthy. God bless you. Thank you for joining us this evening. See you again. Watch out for episode 3.